The Great Galactic War of the Old Republic was an era when everyone needed to be distinctive. The variations on various Force-based orders was drastic. When the Eternal Empire entered the scene, it was no longer just the Jedi against the Sith, but a new faction had made themselves known to the galaxy, one which carried a completely new philosophy and was led by one of the most powerful and evil entities that the galaxy had and would ever know. When Emperor Valkorion issues the Eternal Raids to commence against the Jedi and Sith, they would be helmed by his extremely powerful twin sons by the name of Arcann and Thexan, who separated themselves from the masses by wielding bright yellow lightsabers. The curiosity and mystique behind the golden lightsabers are one that have had endless debates, but most usually it is associated with Jedi Sentinels. However, the yellow sabers of the twin princes are largely shrouded in mystery. If they are more associated with the dark side, why are their lightsabers yellow? And beyond this, why have they chosen to stand out amongst the fellow Knights of Zakuul and their mother, who all wielded blue lightsabers? Well, my friends, it's time to open up another holocron and find out the mystery of the yellow blades. Typically with the lore, we would begin any sort of discussion on lightsaber colors by talking about the impact one's allegiance and perspective on the Force has to do with their crystal. Traditionally, blue was the color of those who preferred the physical applications of the Force and desired to take a more active approach to the changes in the galaxy. Green lightsabers are typically associated with those who are more introspective and willing to explore the wider mysteries and currents and flow within the Force. Purple and yellow are those with multiple meanings. Purple is usually associated with either those who have found a certain kind of balance, or in Mace Windu's case, one who is rooted in the light but acknowledges the darkness within themselves. Yellow, however, is a special case, as to this day, there has never been an official proper description about the nature of those who wield yellow lightsabers. And because of this, a wide variety of people have chosen to wield this blade color. Some of them have been shining beacons in the light side. Others have been far more morally gray, but when it came to the princes of Zakuul and the knights that served under them, none of the previous explanations apply. The reason that the Force wielders of Zakuul have a wide variety of colors besides just red is because of their take on the Force, it being very unique and is way more open than either the Jedi or the Sith doctrine. But to explain this, we have to go to the origins in their leader. The entire reason that Darth Vitiate split apart his soul to become Valkorion and build the Eternal Empire was because he was dissatisfied with the narrow way that the Sith were operating. Valkorion believed that he had grown beyond the Sith teachings and wanted to explore more facets of the Force than just the dark side, or the petty way that the Sith backstabbed one another. Valkorion created an empire that had the Knights of Zakuul explore any facet of the Force that they desired to. Anything having to do with the light, dark, balance, in between, or any way whatsoever. Although they were led by an evil entity, their views on the Force were extraordinarily free-flowing, making them one of the most unique orders in all of the lore. Valkorion believed that the Jedi were weak, and that the Sith were far too narrow in the way that they operated. He believed that he had grown beyond the Sith teachings and needed to explore more facets of the Force rather than just the dark side. No aspect of the Force was deemed too weak for study, and nothing was considered forbidden. By the same token, there was nothing about the Force and the dark side that was ever off limits. Each Knight of Zakuul was left to study whatever aspect of the Force they deemed fit for themselves. The only stipulation was that they had to share everything they found with their fellow knights. This one rule is what kept the culture of the Sith from perpetuating. Anything they found in the dark side or the light was not allowed to be hoarded, but it must be shared with all their fellow brethren. This kept all the knights on the same page and kept one from getting entrapped by the selfish temptations of the dark. They also believed that it kept them strong and united, with all of them working together to become collectively more enlightened within the Force. But because they decided to play it fast and loose with their actual study, they decided that their lightsaber colors would be far more uniform than personalized. Essentially, in the Eternal Empire, lightsaber colors were an indication of rank, not their allegiance. This meant that most of the warriors of this empire would wield blue lightsabers, being pikes, single sabers, or even saber staffs. A different category of Zakuul knights was taken and cybernetically enhanced to become even stronger, being recrafted into super soldiers. This class of warrior was known as the Exarchs, under the rule and command of Emperor Arcann. The project took the best and most loyal knights and enhanced them with biological and cybernetic upgrades, creating the perfect warrior. Each Exarch was given command over a star fortress, a Zakuulian battle station placed in orbit above a conquered world, which in turn essentially made them the ruler of said world. Largely speaking, the Exarchs used orange-bladed lightsabers, though a few of them did have other color variations. With that said, the yellow-bladed lightsabers were an exclusive staple of the Zakuul royal family. Arcann and Thexan were meant to stand out on the battlefield because of their blades, so the other knights could see through the chaos of battle and know exactly where to rally. Because yellow was such a rare color, even by the standards of the Old Republic, Jedi, and Sith alike, it was not hard to spot the twin princes when they were leading a charge. In essence, the yellow blades was not only a symbol of royalty, but also high command. This is supported because Vaylin also wielded a yellow blade, the Princess of Zakuul, and in extremely rare instances where there are depictions of Valkorion wielding a lightsaber at all, he too has a yellow lightsaber. The Queen Mother Senya is the only member of the royal family who stands out as not wielding yellow. Not only is this thematically representative of how separated she is from her husband and her children, she also decided to keep a blue lightsaber of her own as a reminder of her past. Not to mention, she does not have pure royal blood. The gold of the royal family was to symbolize not only their supremacy, but also their self-imposed image of being gods, and that being the end goal. The Zakuulan people were very superstitious and came from a polytheistic background, meaning that they believed that they were ruled by multiple gods. When Valkorion took over and became their immortal emperor, he essentially became the god of Zakuul. This is further supported by how the knights worship him and draw their power directly from him. You see, they had no allegiance to either side of the Force because they all believed their powers came from Valkorion, which of course they did, as Valkorion had made a sort of soul link with all of the knights in order to give them power. For the Zakuulan knight, there was no dark or light, only their emperor. The Knights of Zakuul were basically paladins who drew the Force straight from Valkorion. Because of this, they did not view him as the emperor, but as their god, as well as his family, with theistic reverence. The shining gold blades were representative of this divine stature. It made the royals look invincible. And yet again, the only one to deny this image of divinity would be Senya, who knew of a life before Valkorion and before all of this power. Before marrying Valkorion and becoming the mother of the most powerful Force-sensitive children of that era, Senya was once a Knight of Zakuul, which explains her sapphire blade. Senya had been a part of the immortal Emperor's honor guard and impressed him with her fiery attitude and willingness to make her voice heard. After spending more time together, the two fell in love, and the rest was history. It's clear that Senya had decided to retain her lightsaber as a symbol of loyalty to the Knights, and a reminder where she came from. This paid off, as in nowhere did we ever see Senya abusing her abilities of royalty in the way that her family would. And in fact, she only ever acts in the best interest of the galaxy or her children. Senya did not believe that she was a god, and therefore refused the Golden Blade. But anyway, my friends, this is why Arcann and Thexan, as well as Vaylin, would wield yellow lightsabers. Tell us your thoughts on this explanation and this thought of rank, as well as how the people of Zakuul viewed Valkorion and his children as gods. Thank you so much as always for visiting our channel in the archives today, my friends. If you enjoyed the video, it would help us out immensely if you could leave a like, and I hope that you're having a phenomenal day.